All right, next email. It's a bit of a story, so buckled up. This comes in from Anonymous in Tennessee. Listening to the most recent episode of The Hotspot and all the talk of strategy guides reminded me of when I worked for a certain popular game retailer back in 2013. We would get new strategy guides in weekly, however, it was rare that we ever sold one. We would get the occasional diehard that would pre-order a game and a strategy guide, but almost all the time the guides would, quote, penny out, parentheses, drop the price to a penny and then be taken out of inventory. I think the official protocol was that we were supposed to destroy them, but my manager just kept an ever-growing stack of guides in the back room. One day I asked if I could just bring in a big jar of change and I could buy them all out, but my manager, not wanting to go through the trouble, just told me I could take them all home. I ended up with around 200 strategy guides, and after pulling out some nice hardcover ones that would look good on a shelf, I took the rest to a local used books, movies, and games store. I ended up selling them and receiving anywhere from $20 to $40 a guide in store credit. And when all was said and done, I had just over $4,000 worth of store credit
God damn.
from these items that my game retailer had deemed worthless.
Arrest this emailer.
Okay.
There's a reason they wrote it as anonymous. While not technically illegal, I did feel like I was taking advantage of both the company I was working for and of the local bookstore. I ended up using the store credit to flesh out my collection of movies for my home theater. My question is, have any of you exploited some sort of technically not illegal, but still feels like you're taking advantage of some sort of loophole scenario?
I have two games retail stories about that exact thing. First of all, like this, and I haven't worked in games retail since the late 90s. At Electronics Boutique when that still existed, but you had to push pre-orders, or not pre-orders, but guides on everything, because guides are just like pure profit. Like they were fucking do not sell a game without selling the guide with it. Second, a guy I worked with, like, you know how the whole trade-in thing works? Mm-hmm. Like you're giving people like what, pennies on the dollar for the games they're trading in, and then turning around, you know, selling them for what. He would just pull money out of his pocket and buy the games from people at point of sale at the cash register.
God.
He would give them like $2 more than what the store was willing to pay for the game, and he would just buy it off them right there.
That's boy.
Pocket the game and take it home instead. So his numbers were not great, but anyway.
One of the things I wanted to mention might actually be a crime, so I have to think about it. But the other thing of taking advantage of a system is when I used to work at the cupcake shop, we had these loyalty cards, like stamp cards. So if you bought a cupcake, you'd get a stamp, and after 10 cupcakes, you know, get a free one. We were supposed to rip them up and input them into the system that someone got a free cupcake. The store I worked at was such a high volume that it didn't matter, and I would wind up taking those free cupcake cards home and just give them to friends.
Hell yeah.
That's a good like first date gift. Like, you know, hey baby, I think it's gonna work out. Put your number on the back. It's like if you want to, you can either call me or get a free cupcake. Either way, you win.
Rory knows my moves.
I don't think I've ever done anything like that, but I used to work in a chicken restaurant that did not do. I think they gave us like half off a meal per shift, or maybe even not that. Like I don't think there was a bunch of an employee discount, so we just wait till we closed, and the manager had to go to a little locked room in the back to count the registers, and we just fucking eat everything that we could before we put everything in the freezer. My friend who worked there too took home 4 whole chickens one time, just walked them out to his car.
Wow.
Yeah, give your employees discounts so they will steal from you. I mean, it was theft, but it was also like we were contributing to the food waste problem in America because some of that stuff would be thrown out, and instead it would end up in our bellies.
When I was in college, some of my stoner pizza delivery friends worked at it was like a high-end gourmet pizza place, but their location was delivery only, so there was no like customer presence in the store. So anytime I showed up, they just let me go in the back and make whatever I wanted. And they had have you seen those like little slotted pizza ovens? Like that's not a big oven, it's like a small space. It's just like a slot shape that a pizza would fit in. I would like pile the pizza so high that it would like barely clear the top of the oven slot. It's just like a pizza like 5 inches thick. And then I would take that
dish
home.
guy, huh?
I would take that home, and that would be dinner for like 4 nights.
Hell yeah.
It's a good time.
Sounds great. I would give my friends a lot of free movies when I worked in a theater. And in fact, like after bar would close on Thursday nights, those were the quarter tapper nights. We would just bring a bunch of people back to the movie theater, like 10 people, and just go and watch a movie after bar closed.
Sure. Hell yeah.
It was pretty rad.
I have a feeling movie theater owners know and like probably accept the fact that that's going to happen. It's a movie theater as long as not their overheads on profit or for concessions and shit like that are so big, like losing a movie ticket sale here and there. I doubt they're.
Well, I don't know how it works. I mean, I know people who knew people in film or in theater projection up in the North Bay, and like I don't know how it is in the days of digital projection, but with film reels, you have to like build up the reel and like screen it for the employees for like QA, right? Like you have to run it at night to make sure that the reel is going to work the whole way through before you start.
Sometimes you don't get that opportunity. No. Sometimes it comes in that hot.
Comes in hot.
You're actually promoting the movie and you don't have the reels yet. So they'll come like an hour or so ahead of time before your first showing. So you've got to
just chug it in there,
together.
Hope it doesn't catch on fire.
Yep.